Hi guys, this is Dante with Drive and Thrive, and I've had a number of questions regarding exactly what are the requirements for being an Ubereats driver. The requirements, the documentation, and the sign-up process. So I'll quickly walk through those processes with you and help you on your way to signing up for Uber Eats. Alright, so what do you need to sign up? Now that is slightly different from what the requirements to drive. So if you go to the sign up page and you click on to deliver, you can see the actual requirements here. So for the requirements, you must meet the minimum age to drive in your city. So in a lot of places that is 18 years old, some places it is 19 years old. So you want to check with your city and find out which it is. If driving, you need to have at least 1 year of driving experience. So that's why it tends to be 19 years. Because if you are eligible to drive at 18 years, you also need at least 1 year of driving experience, which makes it 19 minimum for some cities. And if you're biking, you must be at least 18 years old no matter what. The documents you need. If you're driving, you need a valid driver's license, registration, and insurance. And if you're biking, you still need some form of government-issued ID. In many markets, registration and proof of residency are required. And so to go a little bit further with the documents, the registration has to be in your name. The insurance has to be in your name. So it is not enough to use your parents' registration for their car or to have your name also on the registration. It needs to be your car. It needs to be your insurance. So, and your driver license has to be valid. Now, proof of residency are required in some areas, so that's something else to consider because you are kind of locked into where you choose to deliver. So if you live in a certain city, you want to put that as your market. You don't want to put a different city or some city that you may travel to in the future up because you won't be accepted that way. Now the sign-up process, you have to submit documents and photo. You have to submit those documents and photo. You have to provide information for screening because Uber Eats does a background check on you. What they tend to check is whether or not you've had a lot of speeding tickets, whether or not you've had your license suspended, etc., etc., etc. They want to make sure that the drivers have a good driving record, that they'll be responsible. They won't injure themselves or anyone else while they're driving. So if you pass the screening process, you are then good to go. And it talks a little bit about some of the safety on the road that Uber Eats has, and Uber itself, has given drivers, like protection on every trip. Each trip you take is insured to protect you and your rider, although you still need to have your own insurance. Help if you need it. There's an emergency button that calls 911 in just one tap. So if you ever feel threatened or if you ever need help, maybe an accident, anything that happens, you can just press the emergency button and 911 will be called automatically. And it's an inclusive community. We are millions of drivers and riders committed to a set of community guidelines that help to enable respectful and positive interactions. There is a new app that was built for the drivers recently, over a few months ago. I actually have a video explaining the new app, and you can click there for more details. So there you have it. Those are the requirements to become an Uber Eats driver. They are not many. It is not difficult to become an Uber Eats driver. And I suggest that if you want to, sign up today. And as always, remember to drive and thrive.